But let's go ahead and get started here. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here.
But that reminds me of a story, though. I mean, with that, I got a guy. It's got an awesome product. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And like technically speaking, after you get real deep into the product, I mean, I could do the same. You know what I mean? After learning about the product, but he doesn't want to incorporate the business. He doesn't want to spend more than $20 a month advertising.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't want to, build out the page further and stuff like that. And I asked him, I was like, well, I kind of like, I've got a little closer to him. I've met with him. I was like, well, how do you pay for this? And how do you pay for that? He had excuses and stuff like that. Dude, in the very beginning, if you really want something, you'll find a way to make it happen.
Oh, God, yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I was like, I figured, I was playing Call of Duty, dude, just to get marketing money, to get ad money. You know what I mean? You will find a way.
Yes.
And that's what I learned. And as much as I like the guy, as much as I like the product, I learned to walk away from stuff like that. Because,
yeah, I see what you're saying, Sean. So I wanted to, does anyone know what they're looking at right here with this pulled up?
This is like the tulips thing.
A money-making machine.
Yeah. Say it again. He sounded like the guy at the movie theaters. That's Chuck's new job.
But you know what I noticed about it? Well, it's definitely an older site now. You see this picture right here that I'm putting my arrow at?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Is that Ryan Levesque?
No.
No.
What about that picture?
No.
No.
Why do you think that picture's there?
Because that's his demographic.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's a picture of a guy that he thinks that probably would be probably wants. And well, not that I take the word think out of it because he doesn't think. He knows based on research. So based on research, these are the people that were responding to that survey. And these are the people that he was targeting. And I'm going to go ahead and post. This is like a 4-minute video where Ryan Levesque is talking about this particular niche. I'm gonna play it here. I know sometimes on Zoom we can hear sound. Just tell me if you can hear this.
No.
You can't hear it. Okay. Well, I'm gonna give you this link. I want you guys to watch this video. He's gonna explain this niche real quick. It's only 4 minutes. I'm gonna put it here in.
Walk like a man.
Brian the Orchid Guy.
Stop share.
Man, oh man.
All right, so I'm putting it in the chat now. Check it out, and let's come back in 4 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah, just let me know when you guys are done. Continue on.
That was powerful.
Holy crap.
That was powerful. Damn. Wow.
Okay.
I got nothing to say.
I got a lot to say.
He said yes. Okay, let's start there where it's powerful. Pat, why would you say that was powerful?
Well, because the $10,000 a month was paying just his regular bills, and I like how he said that he wanted to get his head above water, and he wanted to see the view. He wanted to not worry about his family, and he wanted to think more about 3, 4, 5, 10 years out. It wasn't just let me just get out of whatever I'm in right now. He was looking towards his future, and I thought that was really important.
Yeah. Dana, I want to put you in a spot today, but in a good way, about something you said yesterday. I had recommended a book to you, and you were like, man, I got all these books to read and stuff, whatever. Like you said, I just need $1 million. I just need something so I can just listen to all these books. And what I'm thinking about is that, let's just say you had an income coming in of $10,000 a month, where you just woke up in the morning and your phone was just dinging every time you made $100, it went ding, 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 ding. Could you do it then?
What do you mean?
Meaning, like, if you had $10,000 coming in a month religiously without you even doing anything. Well, let me take that back. If you heard in the video, he said, I created this income. We created this content. This orchid business was paying our bills. It was paying our mortgage. It was doing that stuff. And we weren't a slave to it. It's kind of like we created the content up front and it was done.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I think it'd be a lot easier to.
Yeah.
I think it'd be a lot easier to. I don't know if I had some kind of residual income coming in, I would love it if my sister were a part of it, because we're really competitive, and when there's months where I perform way better or where she performs way better, we feel it, you know.
Okay.
So like
She kind of keeps you going.
Well, yeah, we're kind of competitive, but it's more of just like a respect thing too. So that's why I like to have, like, when we have rental properties and stuff like that, we like to do everything together.
Got it. Makes sense.
But yeah, I think I could. I think I could relax a little easier going an hour later. You know what I mean? I think I could do it now if I really wanted to.
Yeah. Well, here's why I asked the question. Does anyone know how Pat Flynn actually started in internet business? Take a stab at it.
How what?
There's some people know Pat Flynn in here. Pat Flynn is this online guy. Well, I'll tell you, Pat Flynn was laid off from his job. He was an engineer. And now Pat Flynn, you know, sometimes he posts his income, but he makes about, on average, probably about $200,000 or more a month on this with his deal. And he created a guide on how engineers could actually pass their engineering exam, because that's something that he did, even though he was laid off. That was something that he did. And I think it was called Green something Academy or whatever. And that was his first real success that he had with his internet business. And that thing kind of got him started until the point where he's like, he created Smart Passive Income. He created the hot dog deal. He had a security niche. And I took if Yolanda wasn't here, she'd probably laugh. I took a class, a group called Internet Business Mastery. These guys use Pat Flynn as their model. They say Pat Flynn was like our best student. They were always to talk about Pat Flynn. And they literally lived all over the world. Like, they would do a podcast. One guy was living in Spain. Well, not living, but staying there for a while. The other guy was in the U.S. Then the other guy was in freaking Morocco. And this is literally where they were doing their podcast from. And it taught me that, man, there is freedom in this freaking internet business. This thing is like giving the people the ability to live like these crazy lives that people were like, this guy's lying. This guy doesn't have a Ferrari. This guy's not playing polo in Italy. And it totally transformed the way I thought about income. It totally took me out of the whole thing of how much you make an hour. You know, it let me know that that's not real wealth. Real wealth is unlimited income coming in where you can do what you want to do and not use time to make money. So I'm going to stop there. What does everybody think about that part?
Well, that's kind of a whole new way of thinking for me, because, you know, I was raised with the mindset of trading your time for money.
Mm-hmm.
And,
yeah,
you know, up until, you know, the last few years, that's the only thing I knew.
Yeah. And you felt maybe somewhat lazy. I mean, I'm just assuming here, if you weren't using time to make money. Like, if you was a guy that was literally sitting around, like, I give you an example. I got a guy, he's called the Deadbeat Affiliate. Literally, his uniform for YouTube is wearing a robe and pajamas. His character is literally a deadbeat.
Hey, wait a minute.
Hey, Catherine,
I'm wearing a robe.
Well, no, that's that. You're the female version of him, but he did this on purpose. I'm seriously like, he has like the pictures that he promotes. He's laying on the beach like this, and it's like the middle of the day, and he's laying on the beach, and that's his pictures. So he created a whole group around that, and it's crazy, and he makes a ridiculous amount of money, but that's just that whole internet lifestyle. So what Ryan Levesque is talking about, continuing on with chapter, also that's well, no, never mind. I'll explain it to her later. So he talks about the hook, and we're talking about the he talks about the video, but here's what he says in the hook. His hook was your number one marketing bottleneck. It takes giving this a lot of thought. So what he's saying is that in your video, because you said you're supposed to have, when the website comes up, you're supposed to have a video, and you're to address that number one pain that they're having. But he's also saying that the survey that these guys filled out is going to help you form that video. And the reason why it's going to help you form that video is because you're literally taking that answer that they gave you and creating that content, and it's going to be like you're actually speaking to them. So I haven't went through the answers, but I started receiving some responses, and I haven't sent it to my email list yet on that survey that I put out about the biggest challenge of a person trying to actually follow their dreams. And it's crazy. Some of the things I never even thought about. And that's the power of the survey. We may think we know what other people want, but really we don't. Has everyone been guilty of thinking that we think like our whole niche, that we know what these people really want? Has everyone been guilty of that? Or is the opposite?
Oh, heck yes.
absolutely.
How so?
Well, it's just human nature to assume that everybody else is like yourself.
You know, Sean, I'm gonna put you in a spot here too. You said, I hear you say a few times that the information market, you know, is saturated. It's too much information out there, and I'm gonna have to beg to differ. And the reason why is because there's 7 billion people on the planet, and one thing I've noticed, what I've learned in my life, is that if I see something today and like, oh my gosh, that's amazing, 5 years from now, somebody will see that thing that I saw 5 years ago and be like, oh, it's amazing. But I saw it before them. So it's kind of like a situation of you never, like people see things in different times. People discover things in different times. We all here, I think, tend to be a little techie. So we're always researching. We're online. Like Chuck and Pat, and that's not to put you on the spot.
That's all right.
Your demographic probably is not as techie as you.
No.
All right. Well, let me ask you this. Out of those 7 billion people that you're referencing, how many of them have internet?
Oh, there's a large majority of them that don't have the internet.
Okay, so let's knock out the third world countries. We're down to about maybe 1.8 billion, which is still a huge number. And out of those 1.8 billion, how many of them have the entrepreneurial mind spirit? And I know you can't give an accurate number, but I mean, let's just
probably a majority don't.
Okay, all right. So let's say we've probably knocked that down to 500 million people. Mm-hmm. So out of 500 million people, how many of these people do you think actually have outside income to actually even be able to pay for courses?
Oh, small.
Okay, so now we're down maybe 50 million people.
Mm-hmm.
Out of 50 million people, how many of those people are going to be cheapskates and go run to get a Udemy course for $20 that says it can do the exact same as your $497 course?
Now there, I was going to say that's a large number. Yeah. And here's why I say that. because those eBay for dummy books, those Facebook for dummy books, those that is a $1 billion brand. Because one thing I've learned about people, especially with the statistic of Americans, they haven't read one book since high school.
That's correct.
Mhm.
And the thing is that you have people out there like we are very small niche. We are, like, when I say we, I mean here. We are like some of the things that I talk about, my wife looks at me cross-eyed. She's like, what are you talking about? What is that? Because she works on the internet, but she's not that nerdy type. Let me get a little hint. So I always say those type of people could always teach the ones that are watching Desperate Housewives, that are trying to figure out, like, man, I'm tired of going in this job thing. It's snowing outside. I don't even want to start my car up and go to the car. I'm trying to find an easier way. Or this guy said he was making $10,000 a month walking around in a robe. I don't believe it, but maybe let's just see what he has to say. He has a product, a tripwire that he's selling for $7. Let me just try it. Oh, and now it's an upsell of $47. Oh, now I'm in this membership program of $10 a month or $37 a month. So I think when I hear the guys in there in ClickFunnels arguing about this stuff, I'm like, we're the creators. There's going to be far less creators than there are people who consume that content. And that's the part I think that a lot of these guys are missing, is that part. So has anyone thought about so far about like this video that Ryan Levesque is talking about that you have to construct? Has anyone thought about how they could actually use that?
You mean
Nobody else?
the hook video?
Yeah, the hook video. Or have you even thought about it? Like, if you had to, let me ask a better question. If you had to put this together, like if you had, right now with the information you have, what would you think that your video, how would it sound?
I have to think about it.
I don't understand the question.
Like, okay, he said in his video, he was saying, what is your number one marketing bottleneck? And actually, we get a little bit more information here too as we go on. My notes are kind of all over the place here. Give me a second here. So remember, I made the doctor reference yesterday, and he said the way we should approach this is that when the doctor walks in the room, he's getting feedback from you. He's like, okay, let's say, oh, my throat. Okay, tell me a little bit more about it. Well, it's a little scratchy right now. As I go throughout the day, I'm coughing a lot. I'm doing these type of things. He's sitting there listening and listening and listening, and he's diagnosing based on the information that you're giving him. Mm-hmm. So with the information that we've received in the survey, when he makes this hook video, we're trying to diagnose the problems that the people are having when they come to our site with this hook video. So we're actually trying to speak to their problem. And he says, basically, imagine the doctor saying, basically, calm down and let me ask you a few questions. So think about, he gave examples like, think about the joint pain. Is it a more constant pain? Is it, we're constantly trying to figure out, ask more questions. And when we're asking the questions, we're trying to narrow down what it is that they're suffering from. And we're going to make some recommendations. So one thing he says too is about this overwhelm thing. How many people here, when they get overwhelmed, they just basically shut down?
That's me.
Yeah, I do that.
Yeah, same
Yeah.
here. Yep.
But I find that's the best thing to do, to be honest.
What do you mean?
because it gives you the point to kind of just look at it from a bird's eye view and regroup.
Or at least you won't make matters worse.
Yeah, which you definitely can.
Yeah.
Because he talked about this part. When people come to your site and they're, you know, you have the hook video going on and you're doing this, you want to have people not become overwhelmed. So like, for instance, in my passionates, there's a lot of people probably that are afraid to maybe leave their job, afraid to go on their own and try something. They never did it before. They've always thought when you want to make some money, you go apply for a job and you get that money, and that's how you do it. So this world over here is like a very scary world. So as a person that has this type of content and has been doing it for a while, my job is to not overwhelm that person that is coming to my site. Does that part make sense?
Yeah.
I'm sure with the real estate guys here, a person that buys a home for the first time, do you notice fear?
Oh, yeah.
Like what would one of their fears be of buying a home for the first time?
I don't know where to start.
Fear of what mom and dad are going to think. They fear they're fearing receiving criticism from family members.
Okay, so that sounds like a question in the video. Are you afraid to receive criticism from your mom and dad? Give me something else. So that's one of the questions.
Money is really a big issue. Like, you know, they're just worried whether they really can afford it. They want to feel comfortable about it. They want to, you know, it's really a good decision. They don't want to have a buyer's remorse.
Okay.
You know, there's always that in the back of their mind. Or they, you know, is this the right thing? You know, leaping in too quickly. You know, is this the house? You know.
Yeah, we're missing out on something else out there that we haven't seen.
Right.
Okay. All right. So we're forming a video.
Could we get it for less?
Could we get it for less? Yeah, that's a big one too.
So I would see starting off this video with something like, are you afraid of the criticism with your mom and dad? Are you're afraid that you're going to have buyer's remorse? You could actually start asking these questions, and as you're putting these questions together, the other person are like, oh my gosh, he's talking to me. I'm so that person. And the reason why you know this is because you've already went through a lot of those scenarios. So if this is a person that has been thinking about buying a house and it's like, hey, I don't know, man, but it's just too much responsibility and all this other kind of stuff, and then happen to click on your ad or see your company on a Facebook Live or something, they're probably like, you know what? I think this person can probably make me feel a little comfortable with that. I'm going to give them a call.
Yeah.
But that's all good information. And that's what Ryan Levesque is saying with this hook video. And he actually says it's probably one of the most important pieces on the website. So all those things you just said, he basically talks about the video script. So you guys already have some data because some people have told you that. But in your survey, they're going to give you more information. So all those questions that are in there, that's what should be forming your video. If you're doing a Facebook Live, you have the data. Somebody probably is in your group that is maybe on the fence of buying a home. Are you afraid of criticism from mom and dad? Let me tell you about this story by a guy named Jim. Oh my gosh, he was so afraid of what his mom and dad thought, even though it could have been a made-up story.
It's very interesting because we've never experienced anyone who's received criticism from family, and we were just talking about it.
That we know of.
That we know of. So Dana, that's really an interesting concept.
Dana's a genius.
Yeah, because we haven't experienced that. with any of our buyers.
Oh, you haven't experienced that?
No,
Oh my gosh.
not at all. No.
Must be a South Dakota thing.
I don't know. We haven't experienced that with any of our buyers.
It's just South Dakota
It's
thing.
like family.
Oh my gosh. It drives me
Really?
crazy.
They don't care about their family here.
Very interesting. No, I'm looking back to like even when I started in 2006, I haven't experienced any people that have been, upset about family at all.
Well, he also said too, there are probably about, and I think he said you don't want to go over number 10, but there are 7 possible bottlenecks holding him back. And you don't want to have 100 possibilities, because he said at that point, that's when you're going to run into the overwhelm. So he says about 7 possible bottlenecks. So you guys just listed probably about 6 or 7 right there.
Mm-hmm.
And those things right there. So if you had the 3 buckets, person buying a home, person selling a home, person, what is that? Buying a home, first time buyer, buying a home, and then selling a home. All those objections that you receive from your survey, and all the objections and things that you have when you've talked to these people face to face, those could be used to create your content, your emails, all of that. And the thing that you're offering is the big promise is that you're going to solve you're going to be the person that solves those problems. What he says? He says human beings, when they have too many possibilities, it makes them extremely anxious, which is why you should narrow them down to 7 to 10. It creates an enormous amount of uncertainty and stress. Also, so I want to get some other people too. Here, who else is here? I know we always use Yolanda. Do you have any pain points that come to your mind that you could think of when it comes to your customers? What about Veronica?
No, nobody here today.
I know it seems like right. Do you have any
Oh my
pain
God.
points? Like, let me list some of your pain points.
Pain points. It means the points over like issues, kind of.
Yeah, like what if you had to like name like Chuck and Pat and Dana was talking about with real estate. There's some of the problems that these people have with the mom and dad, buyer's remorse, this kind of thing.
Yeah.
If you were doing a video, what could be some of the pain points that you could actually throw in?
Oh, so that I can throw in, so I kind of answer them for people, or
Yeah, like let's say you're doing a video now for your website, and you're talking to your demographic. They're there. You see the person, and you were to ask a question. Like, let's say, for instance, you probably could say, "Are you tired of dating women in America?"
Oh
Some of
gosh.
the things that they have told you sitting around
Yeah.
right now, because I'm sure there's some pain points of why they want to go to Ukraine to marry something. There's a reason why.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
it's
it
some
is.
guy, they're sitting there like, man, I'm sick of American women.
Yeah.
I want to just go and find me a nice foreign woman or whatever.
I'm
Just
looking
think
at
of all the relationship videos that you've done, Veronica, and why date a Ukrainian woman, or just
How to know if.
how to know if
Like,
or just about the relationship part of it that you've done on your videos.
yeah, 'cause Veronica's doing it.
Right. She just has to probably go back and look at her videos,
Yeah.
and she'll probably get some inspiration from that.
And the ones
Yes.
with the highest number of views, those little.
Yeah,
Yeah,
actually, you know what? I would say that those videos do have highest number of views because people can relate, and they have highest number of comments and discussion because when you touch those pain points, this is people compelled to comment because they want to share what they're going through. So I definitely have some. I have some people who kind of were in a painful, cold, sexless marriages. I have a lot of those guys. They're tired of it.
Sexless marriages.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
true.
That's
There are a lot of sexless marriages out there, you know, where they're not having intimacy and they're just, they're more like roommates.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think, like for me, like my big objection would be, you know, I feel like I'd be very likely to get ripped off by these women. Taken advantage of.
Yep, that's a good one too. That's a good one.
Because I don't trust foreigners.
I ain't saying she is gold.
Well, you don't have to, Chuck. Chuck, you already got the best of the best, so you're good here.
Yeah, I'm in good shape now, so I don't have to worry about it.
You know, I thought of something too. You could actually use this in your, like, if you did a YouTube video as your intro, you could actually somehow incorporate some of these questions to like flash on your screen before your video starts. And it kind of sets the tone like, oh my gosh, she just says, or you tired of American women? Oh, I'm all ears now. I've been trying to, you know, date a foreign woman, but I just don't know how to start the process.
Yeah.
You know, because he says that once you have the audience hooked, you want to let them know that they're in the right place right now. Like, this is the person right here that I'm finally have enough courage to reach out to help solve my problem. And he says, as now that we have them captured, we want to make sure they're certain they're in the right place to solve their problem. So I'm going to stop right there. So do we see now what he's doing in a nutshell? We're establishing ourselves as experts without picking up the phone, without talking to them personally, just by sitting on a screen in the cyber world on our side. Does anyone see how powerful that is? And it just
also with Veronica, she could also, you know, talk about divorce because, you know, 50% of the population is divorced.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that many of the men that she has in her group possibly, you know, may have never been married, but they probably are divorced. And they may have been burned, you know, in their lives and have, you know, maybe bitter kind of situations. I don't know, but you know, so you know, that may also be like a whole other thing that she can talk about.
I'm surrounded by a lot of testosterone, that's for sure.
Yeah, so divorce might be another thing that we can talk about.
Yeah, it's true.
You know, where to kind of make them, I don't want to say not worry about divorce again, but make them feel better about it. That, you know, if you go down this path, you may not go down the path of divorce again.
She'll never leave.
If you follow this
unless
way,
you're dead, yes.
you know.
Yeah.
Well, it's true. It's true. Actually, I just want to say that the foreign marriages, it's very interesting, but the statistics are very interesting. The foreign marriages with Slavic women have way less divorce rate, which doesn't make any sense because you would think, oh, you know, why would that be? Because it's harder. But those marriages, like, there are more real marriages, even with all the scamming going on and things like that. There's more real marriages because a lot of people who are serious only would go through something like that. You know,
that surprises me considering how hard to deal with those women are.
And then the other thing is, if you have any testimonials, I know you just started your.
I do, yeah. I'm
well, I'm saying if you have any that have gotten married, that would totally be something that I would put in there.
Yeah.
Well,
yes.
This goes back to the trust about the testimonials because it just I remember in the military, I remember being in a room one time, this guy had a Filipino wife. He was married to her for 17 years. And They were getting a divorce, and she basically was going to be granted half of his retirement. And I think if he would have had a gun in his hand that day when he was there, he probably would have shot up the whole base. He was pissed, but here's the thing: she didn't drive. She basically depended on this guy. He brought her from the country over here, and he was the only person really that she knew.
Right.
So
But she
that
did the job for 17 years. So
but see, that's the thing. So that could be a fear that these guys are having. Like, if I marry a foreign woman, she's gonna take me for everything. So, and I like what you said about the divorce rate is actually less. So that's cool.
Actually, it's really crazy, but it's much less. It's insane. But and another thing, men who were once married to Slavic women, even if they have a divorce, they want to go for another woman. It's crazy. I have some guys in my book, in my VIP club, who were married already to a Slavic woman, maybe lived for a while, had a good marriage, but something didn't work out, and they still want to go same route. And it's kind of, again, doesn't make sense in the outer, but if you have somebody who were married to American woman, you're not going to say, what? You're going to marry an American again?
So he talks about, have anyone ever heard of if-then statements?
Yep.
In what way have you guys heard of it?
Oh man, there's a billion.
Mathematical statements, right? Like,
Or I got one. If you marry a Slavic woman, then it's more likely to be permanent. That's what I was saying is than if then.
Oh, that's a good one,
Yeah.
Or if
you marry a Slavic woman, then you will have sex every day.
Yeah, that's an if-then statement.
if you hire me, then you're going to get a good result.
Yeah,
Yep.
If I kick a tiger, then I'm more prone to be bit.
Well, he's saying that these
It's
statements.
off pat, then you're going to regret it.
Yes.
Oh, we had. Did you see my post yesterday? Oh.
What was it?
Why? Who pissed you off yesterday?
Don't have to. You saw that, Sean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was that, Pat? What was that?
He's comic genius.
Okay,
Love it.
We're recording, so I'm not going to
Yesterday was one of those rare days
I'm
where
not gonna say
Pat and I
because
were
we're
going
recording.
separate ways and doing separate
Oh, it has
things.
nothing to do with you.
No, I'm just
Oh.
saying, yesterday was one of those rare days where
I'll
we're
tell you when we're not
each out
recording.
doing separate things, and I have no idea what happened yesterday with Pat yet,
It was from the day before.
because I didn't get home till like 11 last night, 10.
Yeah.
Well, what he's saying is that you should use these if-then statements in your video also. So he was handling people with marketing. He was like, if you're struggling to create a profitable business, and I think he used the word sales funnel, then pay a close attention to blah, 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 blah. If-then statements. If you're, I'm trying to think of one for passion or something like that. If you hate the current job that you're at, then finding something that you love can change your life or something like that. So maybe we should take some time when we're alone to write down some if-then statements for our niche based on the information that we have. And I thought that was powerful. And all he's doing is just getting the person to think that you're the person that can help me in this. It just made me see the power in content, of blogging, and establishing yourself as an expert, because people would do business with you if they feel that you help solve so many people's problems. I want to give you a shot. Where are we at here? 546. So that's pretty much what I have there. I'm trying to see this last thing that I wrote, and we're still going over this chapter. Yeah. So basically, to sum this up, whatever, that video is probably, well, not probably, it's very important in getting the person to pull out their credit card or to give that person, have that person give you their email so you can contact them later. And I see how this is definitely forming up now. I haven't read the book in a while, but I can definitely see what he's doing. And he's giving me a lot of tools that I can use at the beginning of the videos, with blogs and things of that nature. So any other comments that you guys may have about this?
No, but I love that idea, the if-then statements. I mean, that's great.
Yeah.
Well, let me ask this question now. Do you?
Today.
Oh, I'm sorry, Chuck. What you said?
That would be the takeaway for today for me.
Yeah. Would you guys like, Dana? I saw you do some live videos with your sister and the podcast. When you are making your content for your podcast, do you guys start off before you hit the record button? Do you start off with like, okay, what is the problem that our niche is having? Let's focus on that to try to give them.
Oh yeah, absolutely. We do a combination of things. Our coordinators will tell us issues that they see from an outside perspective. We look at other realtors' videos, like in other markets, like with coaching programs. We address issues that are changing in Sioux Falls. We look at problems or strategies, we look at so many, like multiple things. So,
that made me think of when I would do a YouTube video and there are comments that people are saying, I should actually be writing these comments down on a little notebook. Like just yesterday, a guy hit me up and said, hit me up on Facebook and was like, hey, I'm thinking about of trying to make it in the music business. Where should I begin? That's a video. Yeah. Using that example of that guy saying, hey, there may be somebody out there who is thinking of starting it in the music business. Here's where I would start.
Yeah. You know what, Abdul, this is kind of digressing a little bit.
Yeah.
But what Danielle and I talked about the other day was so many people reach out to us or talk to us about, oh, I want to be a realtor. And, oh, I've thought about being a realtor. And, oh, I would love to show houses all day. I get that one all the time. And so what I was thinking about, and Danielle and I talked about, is just having like just a little tiny ebook or a little video or whatever for like $1.99. And then when people reach out to us on Facebook or whatever, they just say, hey, I've been thinking about getting into real estate. Like, do you have time to meet and go over this stuff?
Yeah.
We could respond and have like a, yeah.
Dana, charge 100.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
It's
something
something
like, hey, we would love so much to meet with you, or even have like a recording. They're like, hey, we would love so much to meet with you and see how we can help you get started. But, basically find a nice way to say, like, the reality is that we get this question every freaking week and we don't have time for this shit. You know what I mean? Find like a good way to say that, and then like send them a link where they can click on it. And it's only like, whatever, $1.99 or $4.99 or whatever. And it's like what I wrote down for an idea of a tagline was just 10 things I wish I knew before I got my license. Or 10 things I wish I knew before I got into real estate or something like that. So
let me take that a step further. Because really it's not about just becoming a realtor. It's about becoming a powerful realtor. Because you don't want to get into this
that would
field.
be book number 2.
Yeah.
exactly.
That could be
What I'm thinking of is everything that you say, like, oh man, if I had $1 for every time somebody asked me that,
Yeah.
then you really would have $1 for every time somebody asked
You have $2.
and you would be rich.
So whatever you were just talking about made me think about that.
Yeah.
I just think
Because it's funny. Usually a question that a person's asking, it's been asked by somebody else, or somebody else will ask that question in the future.
Yeah.
So it's always going to happen.
Yeah, it's always going to happen. And we could use an if-then statement too. If you thought about, if you have ever thought about getting your license, then you need to check out this or whatever.
And then that link could actually go to a page where they give you your email. They give their email, and that's a bucket, and you could drive that person to buy the first book, How to Become a Realtor. Then the next email say, look, you don't want to just become a realtor. You want to become a top-notch realtor. Like,
yeah.
I'm gonna ask you a question, Dana. How long have you been a realtor?
This is my 8th year.
How many houses do you think you sold in 8 years? If you had to put a number on it.
400.
Wow. So I'm gonna ask Chuck and Pat, is that normal? What will you put in the scale? Is that like beginner level? Is that like
No, that's
middle, or is that like top?
that's way above average.
Yeah, that's above average. That's fantastic.
That's like top producer level.
Yep.
In our town.
I think that's the beginning video of the. Start off with the. I wouldn't say $1.99. I think you probably could at least charge $7. That's what they call the tripwire. But
Yeah.
your-
I've got the exact thing for you because I hate to keep going back to that pilot guy, but he made a little tiny book of what I wish I knew before I started taking my lessons.
Yeah, where's the book?
Yeah.
And
Well, you could be like,
I'll send you a link to it. It's exactly what you're talking about.
you guys know, I love that, Chuck. I love that. Thank you for sharing that. Do you guys know Hay House? Louise Hay? She's like
that's a publication or something like that.
Yeah,
I've heard of that before. Yeah.
like Wayne Dyer and all these big publishers are part of this. And Louise Hay.
Yeah, everybody knows Louise Hay.
Yeah.
I
She-
saw this.
Hay?
Is it Hay or Hay?
I think it is Hay. It could be.
She wrote the book You Can Heal Your Life Now. And and there's a video out there. I played that video. I probably played it 100 times. It's just a DVD that I.
What video is this?
What's that?
What video is this? I would like to see this video.
It's called You Can Heal Your Life Now by Louise Hay. And she's got a ton of authors and producers on there. And I just put it in my DVD player and I listen to it like if I'm getting ready in the morning or if I'm cleaning my room or, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And she's got this huge company called Hay House Productions now. But how she got started, like, I think it was in the 60s or the 70s, is that she wrote this little tiny book called You Can Heal Your Life Now. And she went around and sold it for it was like the equivalent to doing an ebook. But it's this
Really?
ebook. And she built a friggin' empire.
Wow.
It was like this little homeless girl that got molested and raped by her stepfather or her father or something like that. And it was in the 60s when women are, it's not how women are, respected now in the business world. And she's just this incredible, she was like a model. She was like not like a mod, like a big famous model, but she was a model in like a department store for like a hand model or a foot model or something like that. And she has had all this pain. So she decided to write this book and it's incredible. Anyway.
Yeah, it is.
Right.
Dina, it's funny. I read it in Ukraine. I just want to say, like, when I was a teenager, I read it in Ukraine.
Did you really?
Yes, I
Wow.
Incredible.
As a teenager?
did. Yeah.
That's incredible.
I was always curious about self-help.
Yeah.
I mean,
Wow.
she's probably got 20 to 30 authors on there that come in like little blips. And it's like, so Bob Proctor, Wayne Dyer, like it's all her authors in her Hay House.
Yeah.
It's incredible
Wow.
what she's built.
Wow.
Yes.
And it's so funny you said that, Dana. It's always happens when you're in when you feel like, oh, the lights are going to get cut off, oh, my car, I went outside and just put the key in ignition and the car didn't start. When everything is going around, sometimes that idea just comes out like an angel. Okay, try this. And then it just turns into gold. Wow, that's amazing. Is that on YouTube, Dana?
I think so. I mean,
Oh,
I'm sure she's got some stuff on there. She's
Yeah.
old
Yeah,
now. I mean, I think she's like 85. I mean, she's like in her late 80s now, I think.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's
and
powerful.
she's very popular actually in Russia too. I mean, she's very popular. She's translated to Russian language, as I said, Russian and Ukrainian. Yeah.
That's
Wow.
awesome. I didn't even know that, but I love that.
Oh yeah, yes, she is. I know her because I was looking for. I had questions when I was a teenager. I had a lot of questions, so that's why I read her book.
But I'm going to say this, though, Dana. Oh, I'm sorry. What was that? You said something? No, I was going to say. Oh, I'm sorry. That's Ruslan talking. I'm sorry. Say what you want to say. Ruslan.
I would have never even known who she was if it wasn't for this club.
Oh, wow. See, now you know.
You there?
So according to me, she's very unpopular.
Oh,
I'm gonna mute us.
so now the thing is, Dana, is actually executing that idea. Because I think there is a need I think there are a lot of people that probably want to be realtors.
Yeah.
But then
We've had the same idea, and we'll collaborate with you if you want.
Absolutely. I'm like, it's there. I mean, I think it is a real thing. I mean, I think it could be powerful. It's a real thing. It's just, okay, now, executing it.
Yeah, exactly.
So.
If you want
I've got a little outline.
Do you really?
Yeah.
I love you guys.
I'll share anything with you.
I think this means I'm going to have to take a trip down to Florida right about maybe January.
sounds
There you
good.
go.
Let's schedule it for that. Because
No, it's about zero.
We're going to need to sit down
We're going to need to meet in
and
person.
go over this.
Yeah.
Great idea.
Yeah.
So if you stop recording, I'll tell you the little story.
Oh, yeah, hold on.